You do say that sleep early. Is there a particular time that an average person should go to sleep?
Absolutely. We have a public service announcement at home. We had some friends over the other night. At 9 p.m., we have this Alexa device. And Alexa says, it's time for bed. And everyone's like looking at each other like, what the hell is going on here? But that's our public service announcement. Internally, it reminds us every day that it's time to start to wind down and head to the bedroom. There is no doubt that we are these circadian organisms. We wake with the rising of the sun, and we are meant to start to relax at the setting of the sun. All of your hormonal biochemistries, from the secretion of cortisol in the morning to melatonin at night, to adrenaline, to insulin, to leptin, all of these things follow a very basic circadian rhythm. We know it in our ancient wisdoms. Ayurveda has spoken about this for so many thousands of years. We've forgotten some of those things as we've sort of matured into a modern economy. But there is a lot of truth in that as well. So eat at particular times, sleep at particular times. There's a lot of benefits we can accrue from these things.
It's very interesting because you're saying circadian rhythm. Yeah. And I speak to Ayurveda doctors through this podcast, nutritionists. All of them speak about the circadian rhythm and how we should sleep, because in earlier time we didn't have a clock.
Absolutely.
So as the sun goes down, you eat your dinner at around 6:30.
Yeah.
And by 8:30, even in villages today, if you go and see, by 8:30, everybody is retired. They're ready to go to sleep because they're going to wake up at 4:30.
Yeah.
I spoke to a neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, he had a little different perspective. He said that as long as you're getting 8 hours of your sleep cycle, it's not going to have an effect on your brain. If you're sleeping less than 8 hours, 9 hours, depending on person to person, that is where problems start happening, where dementia or brain cells not regenerating and a lot of other things are happening. Because I'm getting these two perspectives. So how do I view that?
I would reconcile it through the following, which is, if you were looking at hard data alone, one could make an argument that it's the length of sleep in the day to give the body rest. However, we don't live in a closed system. We live in an open system. By that, I mean that you can't sleep 8 hours in the middle of the day with the sun blazing in, the temperature being elevated, and think you're going to get the same restful sleep. That is just not the case. And anyone who's experienced jet lag will know exactly what I mean by that.
So, or even people who do night shifts.
Oh, exactly, which is actually a very big epidemic against longevity in the country, because in many ways we are the global south business center for so many parts of the world, and people are having tough lives because of it, whether it's call centers or IT back office support, security guards, doctors, firemen, all these things.
Absolutely.
So yes, the number of hours, you could be very clinical about it, but the reality of life is that you get your most appropriate, deepest, restful sleep when nature intends for it to be the case.
Tell me one thing, according to you, what is more important, living long or living healthy, but with limited, maybe, a lifespan?
Well,
because we are in India, because we are in cities and we don't have the resources.
Yeah. Look, so the motto that I try to propagate is live healthier for longer, right? Now one may say, okay, I'm neither answering you here or there. I'm sort of sitting on the fence. We all want that for ourselves, which is to grow old gracefully and enjoy the benefits of growing old, the wisdom that comes with it, the relationships that accrue through that, etc. But we don't want to do it in a way which is frail and sick and suffering and expensive through that process. So that for me is sort of mission.
What are the damaging health trends that you are seeing in our system right now with the millennials and the Gen Zs and even the boomers?
More so than what we've already discussed. I think the convenience culture is a massive issue for
I agree with you. You know why? Because on one hand, we are looking at healthier, longer lives.
Yeah.
And come on, the people who are actually living healthier and longer are the people who are still in the tier 2, tier 3 villages and all these things, because they have a routine, and they have the physical exercise and the discipline to it. On the other hand, we are promoting these quick delivery apps, which is kind of taking us away from movement.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was small also, I mean, if my mom wanted something from the store, she would tell, okay, run, go and get it. So I would
Yeah.
And I live in a place where there's a slope. So
Yeah.
I used to be like 4 or 5 times I go up and down the slope, and then you walk to the store, pick it up, walk back, and you get home. That's 15 minutes of exercise, maybe 2-3 times a day, because going down to play with tuitions isn't. Today it's a 10-minute delivery at your doorstep.
Correct. Yeah.
So I mean, how is this two things? Because we are not viewing our business culture in that sense. We're just looking at making money now.
Yeah, I know. So this is systemic, right? That involves like the VCs, private equities, entrepreneurs, techies to sort of all get together and agree that they need to stop promoting their own types of business models, or at least promote business models which have a health impact as well. For example, why is there never a healthy option for me to eat in an airport? Why can't there be and when I say proper healthy food, I mean like actual healthy salad, not a Caesar salad, which is lettuce with mayonnaise on the top, which they consider healthy, right? But why is that not an option for people, or on an aircraft or any of these places? So yeah, I think there might potentially be really interesting business opportunities. I think we're all seeing it in protein today.
Yeah.
2 years ago, no one would talk to me about protein. Today, I can't go to any social gathering without people taking out their phones and then saying, okay, doc, now which protein should I be on? Which supplement should I be on? Etc. There are just
so many. Tell me about protein. Tell me about protein.
I mean, just think about how many protein companies have been launched in the last 1 year, right? Any social media feed, you will immediately see. And now the differentiation is they're all trying to be the cleanest protein, right? Who can minimize the number of ingredients on the packet, or give you the cleanest type of protein, or protein for vegans, protein for vegetarians, protein for carnivores, and proteins with these amino acids or those amino acids, etc. Which is great because India is a protein deficient country. And we fundamentally do not consume enough protein, which is one of the reasons why we have so much muscle atrophy or sarcopenia, low muscle mass in our older years, which is why our bone quality is so low, and which is why we're metabolically so sick, because muscle is metabolically the most active tissue. So I'm very happy to see this, and this is a great example of business models which can potentially have health at the forefront. Same with supplementation. 90% of everyone's bloods who I look at are deficient in basic supplements, vitamin B12, vitamin D3, iron and folic acid. And certainly because we're not getting it from the food or the environment, we need to ensure that we are supplementing it in the right way, either with micronutrients in the food or supplements as well. So I think there are opportunities. It just requires the sort of mindset for entrepreneurs to say, you know what, I'm going to step up. I'm going to try addressing the health challenge. It may take me longer, but these are the money guys who are going to back me on that journey. And potentially over the next few years, we'll see new types of entrepreneurs and business models to address some of these things.
So when somebody is going to select a protein, maybe vegan, maybe plant-based, maybe whey or whatever.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that somebody should look at? Like if these couple of things are there, then this is a good protein.
Turn the packet over and look at the label. The number one thing you want to make sure you see is what are the total ingredients in that packet, right? Because a lot of protein powders, to make them more appeasing to the palate, there are carbohydrates, sugars, flavorings, etc. that are added to it. So you want to make sure it's as natural that you can manage. I understand that, protein is not the most flavorful. So try and find something which is minimal in the carbohydrate to protein ratio. So you're getting as much bang for your bucks. That's the first thing I would suggest. The second thing you want to make sure you look at, and now more and more companies are getting better at this, is that the unnecessary toxins, heavy metals, chemicals are removed. And by and large, I would say 90% of the companies today are making sure they're being quite open and publish those things. The third thing you want to look at is what is the protein that I'm consuming? Because people should appreciate that for anyone who's played with Lego, they'll understand that your model is based on the little Lego blocks. And a protein is nothing else but an amino acid sequence that has been conjoined together and bonded. So what are those individual units? You need to make sure that the complement of essential amino acids is present in your protein. And there are 9 essential amino acids. People should make sure that these essential amino acids are there, because if they're not there, then the protein is essentially useless. And again, a lot of the new age protein brands that reach out to me and that I talked to recently, they're making sure that those are in there as well. So that's what I certainly advocate people looking for. I'm still a big believer that you can get your macronutrients from the food you consume. It's just a lot harder in today's convenience culture age. So you don't need to be on a protein powder if you're getting your approximately 1 gram per kilogram of body weight from the food you consume. It's harder if you're vegetarian because plant-based foods are not that rich in protein. It's also harder when you're vegetarian because the diversity of amino acids in plant sources is less than in an animal source.